Welcome to episode 121 of Regen Rovers, the second of our pre-season special before our first season in the Premier League, our 13th season of the series. If you haven't watched episode 120, I'd recommend going to check that out. It was our tour of Portugal. We had our training camp in the Algarve and we took on a few Portuguese teams. And it was very successful. We also made a few new signings, so if you want to be introduced to them in a bit more detail, make sure you check that out first. But today's video is very special because it's commemorating Mr. Jack Young, the legend, the most legendary player of the series. There's no question about that. Some of you might say that Spencer Drury is the best player of the series. He scored the most goals for the club. But Jack Young goes way back to the very start, and he's scored some incredibly important goals in those first few seasons. And over the last 2 years, he's managed to find the back of the net again, hasn't he? After a couple years break in League One, where he was unable to score. But 2 goals in the Championship 2 years ago, and 2 goals last season. What a legend this guy is. Some say he holds the world record for the number of toilets fixed in an hour. Jack Young's so good at plumbing, I'm pretty sure he could solve the whole problem with sea level rise and climate change and all that sort of thing. It'd just install like a plug in the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to be playing in a competition I've put together called the Jack Young Cup, and in the semi-final we're taking on the Belgian side Ghent. And we've got Club America versus Arsenal in the other semi-final. It would be nice to get through to the final just so Jack Young could hopefully take on Arsenal. They should be the team to get through. But it is pretty crazy that he was banging in goals in the National League South, and now we've got a tournament named after him and Arsenal are playing in it. Someone mentioned that comment a couple of videos ago. It really is brilliant, isn't it? And also I'm going to be playing some friendlies behind the scenes as well. We're just going to basically go through the rest of pre-season until our first game against Derby County in the Premier League, which will be episode 122. I'm relatively pleased with the start we have to the Premier League, because Derby County, a team we should be beating if we want to stay up, and Sunderland as well, they're a team of the week that we have to beat to stay up. We are expected to finish bottom, no surprises there, but I have made an exciting sign, what I regard as an exciting signing since the last video. We have signed someone called Gary Johnston, who has 8 caps for Scotland at the age of 22. We've got him on loan from Southampton. It's going to cost £1 million, this loan deal, but I hope and I do believe it will be worth it, because look at him. We've never had a midfielder this good. He's got good passing, vision's exceptional, 16, first touch 15, good free kick take. We do have quite a few good free kick takers in this team. Remember, we signed Vianello on loan from Newcastle, who has got 18 on free kicks. But this guy will be playing central midfield. He can play pretty well as a deep line playmaker or an advanced playmaker, which suits both of our tactics, this more attacking one and the counter one where we've got a deep line playmaker. High hopes for him this season. He should be a star. I think he's an improvement on Garber and Pascal Hare. I think we've strengthened the midfield enough now. I'm relatively happy with the defence. Someone did point out that Williams he's either footed, so it makes sense to play him on the left and Horatio on the right. We've nicknamed Nigel Armstrong. He's just called Nigel because I love that name and it just comedic value, I think. And people were pointing out, probably the Italians amongst you, all those of you that can speak Italian, that Pigliacelli is not pronounced Pigliacelli, it's pronounced Pigliacelli, but I'm going to call him Pigliacelli. Sorry, I apologise, forgive me Italians watching this, or anyone that speaks Italian or has Italian heritage, but I'm going to call him Pigliacelli because I love the sound of that. It sounds brilliant. Feed the pig and he will score, as a couple of you commented in the last video. It just makes sense to call him Pigliacelli. It just sounds so much better. Sorry, but there we go. I love it. So yeah, and also just a bit of housekeeping here. People have been criticising me for my contracts, my contract renewals with players on new contracts. I know perhaps I'm playing it a bit too safe with my contract renewals. I'm not removing yearly wage rises. Well, I do try to, but with some players I feel like I can't, because on the last few Football Managers you may have noticed that contracts are a lot harder you can just completely piss them off and they'll walk away. It happened to Phil Kachar a season and a half ago. That was really why he left, because a year and a half ago I offered him a new contract, removed all the yearly wage rises, and he just said no, I don't want it. So after that point he wouldn't talk to me. He just didn't want a new contract. That's why it was he's left basically. He went to Kilmarnock because he just didn't want to sign a new contract here, because I was being too harsh with the contract. So I know it doesn't make sense to include yearly wage rises because it increases the money a lot. Nico Schult's gone from 10 grand a week to £12,500 a week over the last year. At the same time, it keeps the players happier. They won't ask as regularly for a new contract. That's my theory. Also, for example, on my West Ham save, I was offering 100 grand a week to a player, and they came back and they said they wanted 200 grand a week. However, when I put in the fact that they would have a 20% yearly wage rise, they accepted 100 grand a week. So I'm actually saving money if you think about it. Instead of spending 200 grand a week for 3 seasons, I'm spending 100 grand a week in that first season, then 120 grand a week in the second season, and then, you know, it goes up, but it's never going up as high as the 200 grand a week that they would want up front if they didn't have a yearly wage rise, if you get me. So it kind of balances out, or it can save you money. So that's why I do sometimes put yearly wage rises in there, because if I don't, they want a huge amount more money. And if you reduce it too much, then they get really pissed off and they just leave and they never talk to you again. So that's why I tend to be quite safe with the contract renewals. Anyway, that's the end of that rant. It's not really a rant, I'm just explaining, I'm defending myself. I understand why some of you are criticising me for the contracts, I get that, but there is a theory behind my madness. Maybe it's not the way to do it, maybe you do it differently. At the same time, I want Regen Rovers to be quite realistic. In real life, you would offer wage rises and clauses to players to incentivise them. They're not all going to be on 1 grand a week with no clauses or incentivisations. Is that a word? Because that wouldn't make any sense. So, yeah. Anyway, we're playing Ghent at the Chu Chun Pong Park. We're playing there, remember, we're playing at QPR Stadium. I don't know who Chu Chun Pong is, but he is the owner of QPR. I don't know if he's a real person or not. Is that the real owner of QPR in real life? I don't know, but they are a rich club. They've become a Premier League team. They've got John O'Shea in charge, but if we just look at their staff, you can see they're owned by Hong Kongese men. Chu Chung Pong, Maka Chun, Chang Kwang Ho, Sang Wei Hong, and Chu Man Ho are the guys in charge of QPR these days. Les Ferdinand is the director of football, but yeah, that's why the stadium's called that. We're going to be playing here until December, until our stadium is ready. Regen Rovers Stadium is all up to standards, and I'm excited actually because we're playing at a really big stadium at home for a few months. Now, this is the team I'm going to go with in this semi-final match. We're playing K in goal. We've got Vianella, Horatio, Williams, Yahaya, Gary Johnston, his first game for the club, alongside Nico Schultz. Some of you are saying I should offer him a new contract so he doesn't leave. Perhaps I should do. We'll have a think about that. JCG on the right, Nigel on the left, Pigliacelli and Jack Young. We have to play him because it's his tournament. We might see some more signings today. In today's episode, I have put a few loan bids in, a few offers in for certain players to try and improve the squad. I would quite like to find an outstanding striker. We've got Pigliacelli, but perhaps another one. Maybe we don't need another one. Maybe I should settle with what we have. I was looking at right wingers, but we might have to settle with JCG and Pascual. Left back, I certainly want to find another player because we've only got Yahaya, and the Barcelona guy that I was attempting to sign has rejected me 3 times. But there is another Barcelona player who's not as good as the one I was trying to sign in the last episode, who is available on loan as well, so I might get him instead. Let's see if we can. We did exceptionally well in the last episode, didn't we, in the friendlies? We beat Sporting, we beat the Benfica B team. Ghent will be a different proposition. They probably will put out their strongest team, to be honest. It's a very empty stadium. I'm not sure how many Belgians have come over for this competition, but it's great to just say thank you to the legend that is Jack Young. What is your favourite Jack Young memory? Put it in the comment section below. He scored some crucial goals in the early days. He was so important to us. I've almost forgotten every single important moment he produced for us, but there's been plenty, hasn't there? Some late goals and some fantastic goals. The goal a couple seasons ago. What a strike that was, eh? As Kay turns that around the post. That was that the second goal of the season or the first one? But it was his first one of those goals was his first one since the League Two days. I can't remember if it was a spectacular one that was the first goal in 2 years, or if it was the more simpler one. Either way, that incredible strike from Jack Young in the Championship was just unbelievable, wasn't it? Goal of the season for Regen Rovers. I think he won third in the overall goal of the season. Oh, I love him, and I always will. I know some of you are frustrated at me still playing him, but there's always this player in a series, in a save, which you just, the imagination, you just get really drawn in to him, and you just have to play him no matter what. Here's Nigel, back to Johnston. Here's Yahya, can we get a goal? Nope, the keeper catches that. If Jack Young can score in the Jack Young Cup, that would be brilliant. He has already scored in pre-season. As Johnston, oh, really good play from the Scottish player, the international. 8 caps for Scotland. He must be all right at least. Here's Pigliacelli, lovely ball to Nigel. Nigel, Jack Young, he scores. Jack Young scores the first goal in the Jack Young Cup in the 40th minute. Does a cartwheel. What a legend. That's what he's all about, finishing. He's gone down to 12 on finishing now. He's in his late 20s, but he can still hit a ball sweetly. That's one of his pro things. Yeah, the pros on the reports. If you look here, ability to strike a ball sweetly makes him a good finisher. We've seen that so many times in his career. He puts his foot straight through the ball, doesn't he? And we're 1-0 up at half time. Short's not having a particularly good game. He's persistently fouling, apparently. Johnston is quite tired. We'll leave him on for a little bit longer. I'm going to bring Stephen Dean on for Vianelli, and we will bring on Jonathan Edwards for Nathan Williams. Just because remember, if we get through to the final, we have to play the next game tomorrow, I think. We'll bring on Pascual as well for JCG, just to keep some of the guys fresh, but also try and increase the match fitness of the whole squad ahead of our game against Derby County. We've got plenty of friendlies to play. I've done that on purpose. Firstly, to build match fitness. Secondly, to improve confidence. Jack Young, ooh, put an okay ball in, but there was no one in the right place there. We've played well so far. We've still got it on attacking. Still have to decide whether attacking is the best approach for the Premier League or if I should go counter. Counter kind of makes more sense to me, but we do seem to play incredibly well with this tactic. As Pascual blasts one home, what a strike from him. Johnston with the simple assist, but what a brilliant goal from the Spaniards. Let's watch that one again. Pigliacelli out wide to Nigel, good cross in. The defender tried to clear it, came to Johnston, little volleyed pass, and boom! What a volley from Pascual. I think we'll change the central midfield. We're going to bring on Garber and Patrick Dibber for Short. Up front, I'm going to take Jack Young off. He's got his goal. We're going to save him for the final, assuming we get through here. We've got half an hour to mess this up. Here's Ghent then, lumping it into the box. But here comes Patrick Dibber. It's through to Pascual. Can he find Lorenzini? He does. The Italian puts the ball across. Nope, Pigliacelli can't quite get that. But here's Nigel. Nigel should have scored. That should have been 3-0. Yahya, ball. Good ball in, but the keeper catches it. Nigel, what are you doing? Got a good assist, but that should have been a goal. We're going to bring on Hans Hain for Nigel. We'll take Pigliacelli off for Spencer Drury as well. We'll swap him with Lorenzini. And Horatio will come off for Lawrence Rhodes. In fact, we probably should go to the counter tactic now. Let's change to the counter tactic. Hit them on the break. Here we go. What a game this has been. Another exceptional performance from us against a team that they're good. They're Europa League standard team, aren't they? And I don't know if they have put out their strongest team, to be fair, but I'm still very, very happy with this result, and it's encouraging for the Premier League campaign. I've put together a decent squad, I think. 15 shots to their 4. They just were not in this whatsoever. Arsenal also go through, so we're going to take on Arsenal in the final of the Jack Young Cup. That is very pleasing. Here we go then. Regen Rovers versus Arsenal in the final. First up is the third place playoff between Club America and Ghent. We have to play Jack Young up front again, don't we? Yahya's pretty tired at left back, but like I said, we don't have any left backs. I think we'll play Jonathan Edwards there, because he can sort of play there. Jack Young starts up front. I'm going to play Hans Hain instead of Nigel, Pascual instead of JCG, but I think we'll keep the rest of the team the same. If we can beat Arsenal, that would be insane. But they're playing Anthony Martial today by the looks of it, who has got 89 caps for France, 43 goals, and he's been at Arsenal a long time. He moved to Leverkusen for 33 million back in 2020 before moving to Arsenal for 57 million. He's now 32 years old, but kind of still, I guess he's at the end of his prime now. He's still a very good player. Their key man up front is Graham White, 2 caps for England. They've got this guy playing behind him, 22-year-old Dutch player. And on the right, they've got Garcia, who's got 1 cap for Spain. They're not playing, they're playing a strong team, but strangely enough, not many players are international level players. Bostwick in midfield, an 18-year-old, so they're playing a youngster in midfield. And Chaveur, a French midfielder who looks pretty good. Very good. Compared to our team, you know, they're good, aren't they? But we're going to attack. This is definitely the biggest test yet. We're going to see how this tactic copes against a Premier League team. If we attack and do really well, then there's no reason why we can't use this next season, I think. And it's going to be quite amusing seeing Jack Young up against this Arsenal team as well, isn't it? The Jack Young Cup. He's got his own statue outside the Regen Rovers stadium. We love him, don't we? Look at those Regen Rovers banners. Brilliant. Here come Arsenal then. Uh-oh, White's through. Oh, he tried to chip Kay. That was cheeky, but was unsuccessful, and Kay blasts up the pitch to Pigliacelli. Second highlight of the game. Here come Arsenal again. They're probably going to dominate, but Horatio does well there. Here's Pascual running down the right. He puts in... Oh, he tried to find Jack Young, but it was good defending by the Arsenal right back. And here come the Gunners. Martial into Spielziak. But Edwards does really well. Pigliacelli can't win that though. And Arsenal come forwards again. They're just recycling possession here, aren't they? Winning the ball back from our clearances. And Martial is through. Good save by Kay, our Dutch goalkeeper. I do like Kay. I think he's going to be quality for us. Garcia with the corner. Whipped across. Good header away by Nathan Williams. And Jack Young leads the charge. It's into Pascual. Pascual, what's he going to do? He's beaten his man. He puts the ball in. Pigliacelli can't quite win it. Good defending at the back. But it was a brilliant counter-attack from us before Edwards fouls Garcia. We've done all right, haven't we, so far? But here come Arsenal again. Another highlight. They've had 2 clear-cut chances already, and now is this going to be a third? I feel like it might be. Stenning. He finds... Oh no, Johnston wins it back. Pigliacelli out wide to Hans Hain. The German plays it into Jack Young, who finds Johnston. Johnston to Pascual. What's he going to do? He puts a decent ball in. How about power? I can't talk. Hans Hain scores at the back post. Pascual, what a cross. That is just so enticing. So difficult to defend. The defenders don't know what to do. The goalkeeper can't come for it. And Hans Hain at the back post taps home, and we're 1-0 up. And I kind of feel we need to go to the counter tactic, but I've not had the chance before this chance for Arsenal. Here's Pigliacelli. Can't quite reach it. Williams does well. Schultz can't win that. This is going to be a goal. Martial scores. It kind of looked offside, but we probably had a player playing him onside there. We've done well, haven't we, in this first half. I've kept it on attacking. We probably should go counter, but I just want to see what this attacking tactic is like against this opposition. Here's Pascual. We're very good at countering from corners because of the way I've set my defensive corners up. Here's Pigliacelli. Through to Jack Young. Pigliacelli. He scores. 2-1. Now we're going to the counter tactic. Just to hit them on the break every single time. We hit them on the break there from a corner. Pigliacelli finds the back of the net. What a guy this is. What a player. He's going to score goals this season, surely. Jack Young did well. He was tackled, but it came back to Pigliacelli. And it's a cracking finish. The goalkeeper didn't move. And we're 2-1 up against Arsenal. And they're playing some quality players. We've got a bit lucky with Kay making a couple good saves. But that is magnificent. Even if we lose this, it's very encouraging, isn't it? I'm going to bring Vianello off for Stephen Dean. Pascual off for JCG, just to bring some fresh legs on here. Jack Young will come off at some point. I just want to give him a couple more minutes to see if he can grab a goal. In fact, he kind of deserves to stay on, doesn't he, for the entire game, just because it's the Jack Young Cup and it's the final. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes in the second half as Arsenal put a cross in. Good header, and that's in the back of the net. It's 2-2. Really good header. Jonathan Edwards couldn't win the ball. And here's Stephen Dean. Long throw up to Jack Young. You can't win that. Stephen Dean finds Jack Young. What's he going to do? He's stumbled through a couple players, but they do win it back. And they're starting to pull the strings now. Arsenal in midfield. Garcia coming forwards. Chaveur into Martial. Back to Garcia. This looks dangerous, but oh, really good defending by Hans Haynes, sorry, Pigliacelli into Jack Young. What's he going to do? It's back to Johnston. Lovely ball out wide to Stephen Dean. Puts a ball in. It's in the back of the net. Is it Pigliacelli? It's Pigliacelli. Great cross from Stephen Dean. I think Jack Young was in there as well, but it is Pigliacelli's goal. We've scored 3 goals against Arsenal. Steve, what a ball that is. A good header from Pigliacelli. I think it came off a defender, but it counts as his goal. Ah, this is brilliant, isn't it? Don't really know how we're doing it. We're going to bring Jonathan... I'm getting mixed up. Lawrence Rhodes on for Horatio. Gary Johnson will come off. We'll bring on Pascal Hare, actually, because I keep saying his name. I'm getting confused. And we have to leave Pigliacelli on, don't we, for his hat-trick? I think we'll leave Jack Young on for now. We'll leave him on. There's plenty of other games to get Spencer Drury and Lorenzini match fit. Not long to go now. I'm going to take off Schultz for Patrick Dibber and Nathan Williams for... In fact, we don't have anyone to come on. Edwards will come off for Yahya. I'll bring Pigliacelli off. We'll bring on Lorenzini for the last few minutes. See if he can get Jack Young scoring. 3 seconds to go. We've won the Jack Young Cup. This is unbelievable. They had 24 shots to our 7. But our counter-attacking play was wonderful. We just surprised them, didn't we? We've beaten... Oh, wow. This is incredibly encouraging ahead of next season. Maybe Arsenal didn't play their best players. I don't know. But they had some very good players out there. Players that certainly are good enough for a mid-table Premier League team at least. So, this is great. And we scored 2 of those goals with the attacking tactic. The third one with the counter-attacking. Wow. Pigliacelli, man of the match. What a star he is. And we lift the Jack Young Cup. England want me. Now, this is interesting because obviously this Regen Rovers save is all about Regen Rovers. Getting Regen Rovers to the Premier League and then going on and winning stuff. At the same time, this would add another element to the save. I could call up Jack Young for the England team, which would just be hilarious. I'd probably end up ruining them, and I would get sacked. But at the same time, there's something incredible about that. I could just call up all of the English Regen Rovers players to the England team and play them, which would be a bit stupid, but there's something that intrigues me about that. Now, I'm going to end today's episode here because I want you to vote. I'll put a straw poll in the description below. Simply, the question will be, should I accept the England job? Yes or no? You can put reasons for or against in the comment section below. I mean, I could just do this for a season and then resign. I could just do it for 1 year, play Jack Young, see if he can score for England, and that's it. Because if you think about it, some of the opposition that England take on, if we're taking on Andorra, for example, then Jack Young could score against them. Now, we've got the International League. Those of you that don't know about this is a new competition that is coming to town. In real life, it's sort of replacing friendlies, I guess, but it's like a tiered competition. So we're in Group 3. I think this is, the top division, Division A. That's the top division. We've got Germany and Romania in our division. But I could... look at the qualifiers. Lithuania, Luxembourg. We could play Jack Young against them, couldn't we? And he could possibly score. There's something about this. I know the thing is, this is meant to be all about Regen Rovers, this save. But as a background thing, England wouldn't take up very much time. I don't know. Like when France offered me that job, I was thinking, I don't want to do international management. I don't really enjoy international management, to be honest. Not many people do, I don't think, on Football Manager. But there's something about this. Now we're up to episode 121. We're a long way into the series. It might freshen it up slightly, having a different element there. I'm obviously a good enough manager now to be touted by England. Just shows how far I have come. They're very impressed. So I am going to end the episode here rather than playing through these friendlies. So the next episode will be at the start of our Premier League campaign. I'll play these 4 friendlies behind the scenes. But I will wait. So there might be a bit of delay between this episode and next. We'll see. But I will wait for you guys to vote. I will leave it open for a few hours. And then I'll either accept or decline. And then play on until the start of the season. But I don't want this to spoil Regen Rovers. So have a proper think about this. Do you want me to see me in charge of England and Regen Rovers? The England job would only... I might only play the odd friendly on camera. You know, we could do a double live com where I play one Regen Rovers match and then the England match. That could be an option. But let me know in the comment section below what you think. What you think I should do. But also vote in the straw poll. That's the most important thing. But I'd like to know your opinions on this as well. I might regret even offering this up, because if it's very 50-50 and I accept it, there might be some of you that are put off by it. But if that is the case, then it literally will just be a very background thing, and I can always resign at any time. If it's not working, I can just resign. So just to put that out there, if you might want me to just give it a go for a year or even less, maybe just 2 games, and then say, nah, it's not working, Paul, we'll just resign and focus on Regen Rovers. So that's your option there. A poll to decide the future of the series. Do I take the job as England manager? It's ruined many men. I hope it doesn't ruin me. But that's up to you. Anyway, thanks for watching today's episode. It was shorter than I expected in the end. But we've seen Jack Young score in the Jack Young Cup. We've seen us win the Jack Young Cup final against Arsenal. Phenomenal stuff. I'll see you very soon.